Hello everyone, my name is Zenitsu and I'm back with another Digimon spoilers video. So today I'm going to be talking about more cards that we got from the Japanese 5th booster BT05 or Battle of Omega. Again, I don't know what the official English name of the set is going to be, but either way, we got new cards to talk about and these cards are definitely looking to be really exciting and really decent. So first up, we have a new version of Agumon. No shocker there, considering the set is about Omnimon, and, Agumon only just makes sense to be in here. But what this Agumon is doing is actually really nice. So this Agumon has, stat-wise, nothing really too special to talk about, but he does have a nice when or on play ability, where you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then you get to add 1 Digimon with Greymon in its name, and 1 Digimon with Omnimon in its name to your hand, and then the rest go to the bottom. So this is really nice because obviously with Agumon digivolving into Greymon naturally, he's going to have a whole bunch of different Greymon synergies that he wants to have, and I kind of highlighted a little bit of the possibility on an Agumon style deck. So this card could work in that Agumon style deck where you're not really digivolving into a whole lot of other Digimon outside of Greymon, just for some extra synergy. So that's just one application that this card could be used in, just to try to dig out your Greymons, so that way you could start digivolving and start being a little bit more aggressive. And then on top of which, he also can help dig out your Omnimons. So if you are playing a more traditional evolution style deck, then this card is really good, because being able to search out any Greymon is just very powerful, and being able to search out Omnimon at the same time is, again, very powerful. We have seen cards like this before with the Ragnarlordmon line, so it's not that surprising that Omnimon is getting his own version of it. And it's just, again, a really nice card just because of all the potential cards that he could search for. So we do already have a couple of different Omnimons that he could work with. On top of which, we do have just a whole bunch of different Greymons that this card can work with, and just having all of those options in terms of searches and availability means that this card is going to be a very nice searcher. Next, we have a new version of Greymon, so I could probably just make a safe assumption and just guess that we are going to be getting a new Metal Greymon and a new War Greymon in the set. So it'll be interesting to see what other Greymons we do get in the set, but those are just my safe guesses. But regardless, this is what we currently have, and he's looking to be a pretty solid card. So stat-wise, he really isn't doing anything too special. He's like your average champion. But what is really interesting is he has a nice when evolving ability, where if you evolve to this Digimon off of an Agumon, then you get to gain 1 memory. So this is really important for the card because he has an evo cost of 2. So digivolving him off of an Agumon basically means he has an evo cost of 1. Yes, you are gaining the memory, so if the opponent is sitting like on a Terriermon or a Chumon or a Gazimon, then those cards do stop the memory gaining. But regardless, in just a more neutral or general sense, it's almost like if you digivolve this off of an Agumon, he has an evo cost of 1. And that's just really important for being a hyper-efficient card, because we are usually going to be running at least 4 copies of some Digimon that costs 1 to Evo for the champion level. And this is definitely a really good card, because if you build your deck correctly and you build your deck around it, then this card could fit that slot very nicely. And then on top of all of that, he even has his own inheritable skill, where during your turn, when this Digimon has Greymon or Omnimon in its name, then it gets plus 2000 DP. So this is just a really huge buff for the Greymons and Omnimons that he's digivolving into. So there's just a whole bunch of different Greymons, as I mentioned before. You could start aggroing with your Metal Greymons if you really feel like it, on top of which this just works with a whole bunch of the different Mega level Greymons. So like this works really nicely with Blitz, just making Blitz more powerful, works nicely with War, works nicely with Ancient. Like there's just so many potential cards that this card could give the buff to, and the buff is a pretty sizable buff also. On top of which, this also just still works with Omnimon, and Omnimon is already very, very powerful. But if you're facing off against the opponent's Omnimon and you Digivolve into yours, then yours will just be more powerful than the opponent's, so you could use yours to potentially beat up on the opponent's. So this is just a very fantastic card, and the buff is a very sizable buff, just making a whole bunch of different cards even more powerful than they were before. Next, we have a Gabumon. So this Gabumon is basically the mirror of Agumon, where he's doing the exact same thing, except for instead of Greymon, it's going to be with Garurumon. So his on-play is you get a look at the top 3, add a Garurumon and an Omnimon from among them into your hand, and then the rest go to the bottom. So again, doing the exact same things as the Agumon, but for Garurumon. And this is still just a really, really powerful card just because, again, there's just a whole bunch of different Garurumons in the game. So you could even consider using this as like a splash for some of the other colors. So like you could do like this purple-blue splash where you could just use this Gabumon for his on-play ability and then try to dig for your higher level Garurumons. So that's just one really interesting to think about, is because it is an on-play, you could splash it in some other colors. Same thing kind of applies to the Agumon also, it's just most of the Agumons are in red, but with the Gabumons they seem a little bit more split. But regardless, this is still just a very, very powerful card for all of the same reasons why Agumon's really powerful, just extra Garurumon synergy and extra Omnimon synergy to really push those cards forward so that you can consistently see them more often than not. And this is really, really important, especially in blue Omnimon decks, because blue Omnimon decks, for the most part, have been falling out of favor just because red has the more powerful options, and red is almost just as consistent as blue. It's not exactly as consistent because blue just has more card draw power overall, but the toolboxing ability of red definitely makes it outshine the consistency of blue, on top of all of the additional Omnimon options that red has versus what blue got. But regardless, this is still just a very good card for all decks involving Garurumon and Omnimon for the color of blue or just potentially other colors. And then the last card that we got for today is going to be a new version of Garurumon. So again, I'm just going to make the safe assumption that we are going to be getting a whole new Garurumon line. So we're probably going to see another Garurumon, and we're probably going to see another Metal Garurumon. They're probably going to have more synergy with Omnimon if I just had to take a guess based on these, but you know, anything could really happen in the game of Digimon. So this Garurumon is basically doing all of the same things that the Greymon was doing, where if it evolves off of a Gabumon, then you're going to be gaining 1 memory, so it's basically like an Evo cost of 1. Which, again, is still very, very good because this could work very nicely with ancient Garurumon decks, which is still very, very good. And then on top of which, he has a very similar inheritable ability as the Greymon, except that the buff is for Garurumons and for Omnimons, but the buff also is only 1,000 instead of 2,000. So that's just one really big thing to note, is that the blue buff is a lot worse than the red buff, even though the cards are basically doing the exact same things. So that's kind of just like showing the, I don't want to say favoritism, but it's definitely showing that red is more of the proper color to use Omnimon with. But this is still really, really good for all Garurumon style decks, because you could use this in, let's just say, a ancient Garurumon style deck. And just being able to have some DP buffs in blue is still a very, very important thing. So this can turn a whole bunch of the other Garurumons into slightly bigger ones, and that just will allow them to help clear the security or beat up on the opponent's Digimon and so on. So those are all of the spoilers that we got over the past couple of days. The set is definitely looking to be really, really interesting, and I'm excited to see what else is in the set, considering just all of the possibilities that the set can hold. But I do really like these style of designs where they don't really feel like they're power creeping anything we currently already have. Like all of the tools that we still currently have are still really, really good. Again, we're just getting more tools, and as we get more tools, things can get fleshed out more. So it's just up to what the players want to use and want to choose to use just makes certain cards stand out a little bit better than others, on top of just what is more popular and what is going to be played more. So again, I don't really think that any of these are power creeping anything we currently already have. It's just increasing the amount of things that we have to play with, and that's just really good because we could create some really interesting and diverse things, as we saw with my Oops All Agumon deck. Just really trying to utilize cards in different ways and give different meanings and applications to them than what some people might think that is possible. So that's kind of all I really have for this video. As always, feel free to tell me your thoughts down in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And I'll see you in the next video.